Monroe County Sheriff Brad Swain says the county should consider replacing the 37-year-old county jail soon. But county officials want to exhaust all other options before going down that route. Adam Pinsker reports.
So it's a typical cell.
Monroe County Sheriff Brad Swain says his jail deputies could walk 5 miles a shift while working in the jail simply because of the design.
This is what they call a linear jail. It's, everything's laid out in lines.
Swain, who was a deputy when the current jail opened in 1984, says the design was obsolete from day one.
One of the tragic things in hindsight is that the pod system, which is the way we would like to go to, existed then.
A pod system allows officers to monitor inmate movements from one centralized area. It's safer and cuts back on the amount of time a jailer would have to travel by foot to respond to a situation. Swain says he'd prefer to see a new jail located outside downtown.
With room to with expansion, if you think of a hub with spokes on a wheel, you would just, as you might need, add spokes.
Swain says it would take fewer staff members to run a new jail, and that would save the county money. The county would also save a lot of money on maintenance expenses. He says it costs $500,000 to replace aging door locks on cell doors in the current facility. Maintaining the elevators, electrical, and sewer systems are also costly.
I think the jail study put to redo this entire building to bring it back up to snuff would be $50 million. Well, you've got a new jail.
Monroe County Commissioner Lee Jones thinks that number is closer to $60 million, but she's not in a rush to build a new jail.
And it's not easy to find enough property in the downtown area to create what would be a modern jail.
Jones was part of a jail study committee that met earlier this summer. The panel focused some of its efforts on ways to reduce the jail population.
We need to attempt what's called a warm handoff when people leave jail, which means that they're immediately connected with services.
That could include medical care, food stamps, or housing for the homeless.
We do have a program going that basically people in probation will interview people, usually within 24 hours of being arrested, and make a determination of whether or not they really need to be held in the jail.
County jail started shouldering the burden of caring for inmates with mental health problems as the state cut funding to hospitals around the state that can provide that professional care.
It used to be part of my job when I was a new patrol deputy that transporting a person for long-term care at Madison or Logansport was part of your job.
Swain says the Monroe County Jail has one full-time and one part-time mental health professional on staff. Contrast that with the jail's inmate population, which can range from 200 to 250 inmates or more at any given time. Jones estimates as much as 70% of the inmates in the Monroe County Jail have some kind of mental health issue.
The single biggest problem with this, and it's really a nationwide problem, is the lack of mental health care providers.
Jones is hoping money from the American Rescue Plan will pay for more intervention programs to keep the jail population down. Sheriff Swain says he's on board with doing everything he can to keep people out of jail, but he says there will always be criminals, and therefore there will always be a need for a jail. And at some point, Monroe County will need a new one.
Here, there is good financial support to keep the building in as good a shape as it is. So it's not as if this building is going to collapse in a heap the moment we move all the inmates out, but it's just tired and worn out.
For Indiana News Desk, I'm Adam Pinsker.
Swain says it's unlikely he'll be around to oversee construction of a new jail since his term ends at the end of 2022.